and welcome to another episode of Todd Talks, and Todd Talks people listen. Hopefully. Today, we are talking about my reaction to the Nightwing Daredevil death battle that just happened. I won! Oh my gosh, I won! I'm so happy. Yeah. No, seriously, if you watched my preview video, I did not have a victor picked before when I did the video. I literally picked it in like the last minute of the prediction, which was pretty long. Um, I apologize for that, by the way. And so I was stressing because, there were a lot of people who were convinced that Daredevil would win, and then there were a lot of people who convinced that Nightwing would win, including some people that I honestly thought were going to pick Daredevil. But no, he won, and they gave very logical reasons why he won, and I'm really happy. That's not to say that there aren't a lot of very sore people out there who aren't happy that the Man Without Fear lost to Nightwing. There's been some complaints, and some of them are honestly a little legitimate because of how Death Battle showed Daredevil's weakness to sound. Because there are times in the comics when he had his hearing hurt, but still won fights, and then there was a time against Claw, who is the Black Panther villain who has a sound cannon as an arm, and he apparently used it against Daredevil, and he had sound dampeners that made it so that the effect wasn't as grand. And it's true that they didn't mention the sound dampeners, and they probably should, but here's the thing. The helmet comes off, okay? The helmet that Daredevil wears comes off, and yes, you could argue that um, it's difficult to take off. But here's the thing: if it was that difficult to take off, then why wouldn't he have like a Black Panther all around mask? It 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 would be difficult, but it wouldn't be impossible. And so, as I was telling people on the Screw Attack forums, the key thing here is that you have to remember Nightwing Scanner. Nightwing Scanner can detect all manner of things, and so and they even show in the video that it scanned his head and noted that he was blind or whatever. But if it could detect that, there is no reason to think that it couldn't detect that he had sound dampeners in his thing. All he would have to do is either use his wingdings or some of his strikes, which he could totally tag Daredevil, to damage the sound dampeners, and then just use the ultrasonic ones or ultrasonic wingdings to injure him and incapacitate him. It wouldn't be that hard. And in fact, that would be something that Dick would likely excel at because of his creative strategies, and he's had to deal with such things in the past. So, granted, I feel Death Battle should have noted the issue with the sound dampeners, but it wasn't the end all be all. The question was, would Nightwing figure out Daredevil's weakness to sound? And the answer is yes. And I noted this in my preview, is that he would realize eventually that Daredevil was blind, whether it be through his actions, through the way he fights, through the way he continually finds Dick despite the stealth aspect of it. So yeah, there was never a real issue that he could figure out he was deaf. The question was whether he could use it, and I honestly didn't know he had ultrasonic wingdings, which, as they noted in the death battle, he uses both against people with hearing problems and just regular people, because ultrasonic frequencies hurt. Okay, so yeah, I know some people are disappointed, but no, they did not nerf Daredevil. And I saw people say, well, he's resisted it before. Yes, he's resisted, but resisted is not immune. He, even if it stunned him for all of 5 seconds, because he's got to like use his senses to adapt. That's all the opportunity Dick needs to land a couple blows and kill him via apparently a superpowered punch. I'll admit I wasn't the biggest fan of that, but what are you gonna do? So yeah, I know some people were disappointed, but come on, all right? They didn't. I'm seriously sick of hearing about the bias that Death Battle has, and I've been called like, a super fanboy. I've disagreed with them in the past, and I just admitted that, the Daredevil sound dampener should have been mentioned, and as well as his fights with Claw. But that's the thing. They don't have a bias. They don't. And they say, oh, because Batman, needs Batman characters need to win. Batman's lost 2 of the 3 death battles he's been in. And yeah, Batman Beyond won. That's fine, but that's a different Batman character, all right? And then Nightwing, he could have easily lost. They even admitted that he could have easily lost, but it was the question of would his gadgets and detective skills overcome Daredevil's senses? And the answer was yes. So there's no bias. Moving on to the fight itself, I was pretty impressed with the fight. I've seen Eastma Hawk's battles in the past, and I was really impressed by what they did with the battle here. The costumes looked really good. The acting was pretty on par with what I was expecting. So Dick was a wisecracker, and Daredevil had some good one-liners himself. I'm glad that they used the Billy Club versus the Eskrima sticks. That was really really cool. There were a few slow points. I feel that they went a little too ground and pound at times when I feel that this would be a very acrobatic matchup from start to finish. I didn't like the triangle chokehold and the armbar. That sequence took too long. Yeah, they were used it so that he could scan him without interference and all that, but I feel it could have been a little faster. And that superpower punch at the end, though it looked cool, I don't know if that was the best way to kill Daredevil via Nightwing. But what are you gonna do? But for what it was, this was a good live action death battle. I really hope that they do more. I know a big request was one with James Bond. I would love to see James Bond versus Agent 47 from the Hitman series. So yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. But thank you, Eastma Hawk, for the great fight. And of course, Death Battle for allowing them to do this fight. If you haven't seen the behind the scenes from Eastma Hawk, go ahead and do that. It's a really interesting process of how they do everything, and they show scenes that they were supposed to be in the fight, but then got changed. So watch the battle and then watch the behind the scenes and see how much the thing changed over time. Moving on to the 100th episode of Death Battle in a match that was, I don't even know how to say it. I mean, in a match that I don't think anyone saw coming for the 100th episode. Let's say it like that. We are getting a Mario versus Sonic match again. Now, here's the thing. Ben Singer went on to Twitter and specifically stated this is not a continuation, a rematch, or anything like that. This is not Goku versus Superman thing. This is a complete reevaluation of Mario and Sonic with the modern death battle rules. Okay? Why is that important? Because the original matchup was like episode 8 or 9 of Death Battle. It was one of their first episodes, and it was within the first season before they had truly established themselves and the rules that they wanted to do. So this is logical that they want to put it under the modern Death Battle rules. And he even showed a still from Blind Ferret, who is going to be animating this episode. It looks really good. So yeah, this is not a rematch. This is not a continuation. This is full on modern rules. Who would win Mario versus Sonic? And I already see a lot of people complaining, "Oh, they're doing this so Mario could win." We don't know if Mario's going to win. We don't know. So I'm looking forward to this. I was pleasantly surprised. Do I wish they didn't do this for episode 100? Kinda, but I can understand why they want to do this because as some people noted, Screw Attack was originally a pure gaming channel, and they always want to do more gaming death battles versus comic books and such. But so it makes sense, and this apparently was a highly requested rematch with modern rules. And if you think about it, this was 7 years ago, when they did Mario vs. Sonic 1. So all the games, all the TV shows, all the comics that have come out since then, that adds new material. So there's a lot more to go on now. So it's going to be interesting. And with that, I'm ending this episode of Top Talk, episode 95. It's funny there. By the time we get to Death Battle 100, I'm going to be at 96. So I'm so close. We could have had it to where I was just right there with them, but whatever. So, what did you think about Nightwing versus Daredevil? Did you like the live action aspect? What would you like the next live action battle to be? And are you excited for Mario and Sonic 100? Let me know in the comments below. and I'll be sure to be breaking that down when the battle comes out. So, hi, thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, I know you were listening, and I will see you around.